Hey everybody, welcome to CivilGear. Today we're talking about the Nitecore P36. And I'm going to be telling you about why I think this is one of the greatest work lights out there and why it's my new favorite. So stay tuned. Today we're going to look at the P36. It's a 2x18650 lithium ion battery, or that'd be 4 CR123 batteries if you're into those. This is one of their newer flashlights in the 2000 lumen range, and so that's kind of a new range in the market. You've had, you know, the traditional XML emitters in the 1000 lumen range, and then you start getting into kind of maybe the 3 emitter arrays where they have 3000 or 4000 lumens, but this is a nice little in-between light. And so I was really excited to see this with a 2000 lumen output. It's featuring the new MTG2 LED from Cree. Right, has a nice textured reflector here, so it helps diffuse the light to make it a little bit more floody of a beam. Has both of the has a side-by-side configuration, so it makes it nice and short and easier to pack and go and store. And I like that it has a flat handle on it. It kind of contributes to a nice strong grip. Even though it doesn't have as much knurling, that alone gives it a nice stability. It just has a little bit of ridging here on the top, similar to Nitecore's Explorer series. Has some cooling fins. Here's the back. Let me show you this. This is kind of fun. This has a forward tactical switch, clicky switch, but also electric rotary switch for adjusting the lumen outputs. The light comes apart in 2 pieces. Has the head and the body. Has a bunch of reverse polarity protection in here. There's a cradle that holds the 2 batteries together. Put that back in. And notice how it has a shorter spring right here in the middle. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And that'll be used for locking out the light. And so when we screw this back on, it has a self-check on here too. You see, I think it blinked about twice. I've been using this light a little bit and didn't have a chance to charge it. So 2 blinks means it's less than 50% charge. And so that'll check you every time, but no need to take it apart every time just to check the charge. You can push down on this rotary knob. Just give it one little tap, and it'll come up there, those 2 little red LED lights. Has the forward tactical switch, so if you just give it a little touch, dial this up a little bit, just give it a little forward tap and it'll come on momentarily. That's the momentary mode. Give it a full click, it'll come on to constant output. Then you can adjust the brightness by using the dial. You have to get used to which way increases and decreases the light, depending on how you plan on holding it. I'm showing you the way I would be holding it, with the clicky switch above and the dial below. This is a nice opportunity to show you these flashing indicators indicate that the battery is running low. So it's nice to be able to show you that. So it'll keep flashing at you, so you know that the battery's about to die. But I think we're doing alright. So anyway, it's got a nice solid click switch on there. We have a rotary dial that turns and also presses. So with the primary mode, it has mode memory, so it remembers the last output level you were using. Start it down to low mode. Has 10 clicks before it gets all the way up to its highest turbo mode, which is the 2000 lumens. You only get 45 minutes out of it, but it's nice to be able to have that really bright output when you need it. So anyways, I'm going to bring it back down to low. It does have a couple other modes. It has a forced low and a forced high. So you can enter those modes by turning the dial quickly to the direction that indicates low or indicates high. So we had it on low, but now we want to force into high by turning the dial to the high side. And I have to do it a little bit quicker than that. You gotta turn it and then click it on. So now it's on high, as you can see, but now I want to make sure it goes on low. I turn it that way real quick, and I turn it on. So I'm in my low output mode. You can also do it in a momentary mode. So I'm in low and I want to go into high. Give it a flick. Do it again. Give it a flick, and just do a momentary. I'll do it low. Come on, low. And that's in low. So it also works in momentary, so that's nice. Let's go through some of the hidden modes. My favorite, some people hate strobe, but this has a very tactical strobe on it, so it's nice to have around, and especially if you can have a push of a button. So what you do to access the strobe mode is by pushing down on the rotary switch. Just straight down, you hold it down for a second, and then it goes into its crazy strobe mode. And that's it. It has a dedicated strobe, and that's all you do for that one. To enter into the hidden modes, you click on to the primary mode, and you push the dial down again. Just give it one tap. It'll go into the strobe mode, but you just turn the dial in one direction, and it'll change to the next hidden mode. You can actually forward and reverse in the hidden modes. So if I want to go back to tactical strobe, I just turn the knob in the opposite direction that I came. And so I'll turn it once more to the other direction, back to the flashing mode. Keep advancing it to a fast flashing mode, and I like this mode because it really gets people's attention. Keep forwarding through here, and we have the beacon mode. And then the SOS mode. And back to the tactical strobe. To exit the mode, you can simply turn off the light, or to return to primary mode, you just push down the rotary switch again. So anyways, those are the primary modes and the hidden modes. So for actually holding the light, I've seen a few different people try this out in a manner of ways. I usually hold it like this, with a tactical switch at the top and the rotary switch down here. And I just operate the whole thing with my thumb. So when I want the light on, I click the clicky switch and use the flesh of my thumb here to turn the dial. And since it's rubberized, it has very good tactile grip. So it just slides around. And it's pretty fun to do. And it's just really quick to change, and I really appreciate that about this light. The other way I've seen it is this kind of two-finger god-awful handhold, and I can already feel it in my arm. It kills. But if you really wanted really tight control over what's going on, you could try this. Maybe if you're pointing it down all the time at the ground, that will help a little bit better. But if you're pointing it straight at something level with the ground, I'm not sure about this, but what you can do, so let me show you. So, holding it down in momentary mode, and use my finger to adjust the brightness level while I'm still holding the knob. Oh, I can barely turn it back the other way. Oh, that kills. Okay, so, and there's that way you can hold it too. So, overall, I love having a light that I can have exactly the brightness I need. And also it has a nice flood and a nice view angle on it. to really just light up your whole work area very easily. This isn't really a distance thrower. This would be more for working within 50 feet. It can light up any construction you may be doing, projects, what have you. Another thing about this too, if you're using this in high mode for a long time, this does get pretty hot, so just a warning. And of course it has some fins here at the back. Nitecore does advertise this being tail stand capable, and I would agree, but I would not recommend it, as this does tip very easily. It is very top heavy. So if you're in a pinch, it'll do it, but I would not plan on having it tail stand for very long. It is just asking for trouble. Oh, and hey, I forgot one more, or two more things. There is a little bit of parasitic drain on the P36, but it's easily remedied by loosening the head of the flashlight. So it removes the full contact with the battery. So all I have to do is give it a little, I've noticed it just needs to be a quarter turn. I've heard a full turn works best, but try a quarter turn, push the button, you see, nothing's coming on. So that works for me. Turn it back on, screw it back on, and you see the light come back on. There's a weird quirk though to it. If you have it on and you unscrew the head, it stays on. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but see that? Anyways, there we go. Turn all the way off. Give it at least a quarter turn. Nothing works. So that's good. And my other thought too that I forgot to mention was the holster it comes with. It's pretty useful. Also, one last thing, the holster that this comes with is pretty nifty, except I have a couple of thoughts on it. There's 3 different ways of attaching it to your belt. It has a D-ring. It comes with a plastic D-ring on it, which I think I may eventually place with my own ring, but I've got another key ring here to attach it to my belt loop, which is my preferred way of using this. It has 2 other belt loops here. It has a flexible, reusable one here that you can quickly open up and cinch it to your belt without having to take your belt off. So that's useful to have that option. Or, you know, maybe attach this to your backpack strap, something quick. And then it also has this permanent sewn-in strap too. So in case you're really on an aggressive hike or a run, you know this won't be coming off. So the other thought too is the headspace here that allows you to easily grab the light when it's in there is a little bit big. So there's enough space in there for this to be useful. It's not tucked all the way down into the holster. But if you're not careful and you don't close the strap all the way tight, you can have a little bit of light peek out. So if you're bending over, this might peek out a little bit. It might be at risk of coming out, but just wanted to let you know about that too. In case you want to look for another holster, that might be a good idea, but this works for its purposes as it comes with it. Anyways, I digress. Hope you enjoyed this review of the Nitecore P36, and we'll see you next time.